September was a doozy. I realized that I was emotionally and spiritually fatigued when I showed up to one of my sessions with 3 acrylic nails missing on the same hand and a tracksuit with my hair plastered to the side of my face. And I didn't even care. Okay, so either that meant that I was really confident or I just had it. So speaking to a friend about just not really being there, he let me know that I wasn't the only person who was feeling that way, that it was just something in the air. So I don't know, I was talking to other friends about it and just realizing at that point that everyone was in the same boat. There was something in the air, whether we were watching too much TV or politics or whatever was going on, and everybody was going through it. And I was kind of beating myself up about it because I wanted to be a light. I realized that I hadn't been. I had been the one, kind of feeding into this. I'd been down just like everybody else, and I noticed that things were starting to annoy me, and annoying things were starting to be magnified, and I was feeding on that. My face was breaking out. I got sick, which affected my voice, which made me even more down and out. And I don't know where I got that from, that just because I'm a believer, I'm supposed to be above all those things, because that's not the truth. And of course, caffeine helps my light to shine a bit brighter, in Jesus' name. I think we all feel that way. But I did give that up for the sake of my voice. So that probably had a lot to do with my slow decline into the uncaffeinated world of, I don't really care, okay? And so how I looked in my session was basically the look for September. The reality of the situation is that Jesus said that in this world we're going to deal with troubles and we're going to have a lot on our plate, but we're to take heart because he's overcome the world. And I want to overcome too. I'm right now in the process of overcoming, and what that looks like for me is bathing this in prayer because I can't do it on my own. Just being honest with God and with people, renewing my mind. So that means like being intentional about the things that I feed my brain, my spirit, my body, whether it's food or just the TV shows that I watch, the music that I'm listening to. Because the theme of my life also at this point is worship. Like, am I going to worship God no matter what? Because I'm a worshiper. That's what I do. And it's hard and I don't feel like it. And sometimes I don't feel like I even have it in me, but I'm still called to do that. So I'm learning how to do that. And that's what I'm doing right now. Usually that clears up a lot of things for me when I'm going through something emotionally. It does clear the pathway, all those steps to being able to see and hear from God clearly and connect with him. But sometimes you do have to take further steps, like counseling is another thing. I do believe that God put counselors on the earth, so why not use them? Someone said something really wise to me yesterday when they were describing like their struggle with their voice and getting sick and not being able to really sing for a long period of time. And that's something that I've been struggling with, as I mentioned before. But he said, I just kept showing up. And that made a lot of sense to me. You just keep showing up. And I think that's where I am in life right now. Like when all I have is my obedience, that is what I do. I remain obedient and I just keep showing up and asking the Lord to do what he's gonna do. If you were to describe me, or if people who know me were to describe me, I'm 2 things. I'm obedient to the Lord and I'm honest. And if I were to list another thing, I'm really funny. and expressive. So that's 4 things. 4 things. And part of my goals this year was to release the album because that's what I was told to do. And I also wanted to do vlogs, which you guys have seen. This vlog is for a song that I did called Close Apart. That's why it feels like we're so close apart. This song is a metaphor for how I believe other people who believe and are followers of Jesus Christ view the world. It's like a tango between the things of the world that the world has to offer you and just being a believer and knowing that we're supposed to be in this world but not of this world. So it's always going to be like this fine line. You're not supposed to be weird, and you're supposed to be able to relate to other people in our struggles when we overcome them, and then helping other people, but at the same time you don't want to get sucked into the enticing things that the world has to offer. Some of us find that we've slowly been duped into becoming or living this fake persona to please other people or to fit in with a group, or like for me, I'm a songwriter and I see it all the time, and I've even experienced it or done it where I found myself writing compromising lyrics or just doing things that I don't really feel like they're me. People can do this to achieve a certain status, and the problem is that you may achieve that status or may achieve that popularity or write the perfect song for whatever artist you're working for, but then you have to maintain that persona, which can lead to depression. It can lead to people feeling like they have to take drugs or be high all the time to even cope with what they're doing. It leads to burnout. The million-dollar question is, what are you willing to do to achieve those things? And is it really worth it to gain the whole world, but in that process lose your soul? And that's biblical, people. Okay, for those of you who say that the Bible isn't relevant, well, that still is the million-dollar question. Doing things that don't go along with the way God wired you will lead to all sorts of havoc in your life. But that's basically what this song is about. I like all my other songs. So like all my other songs, I came up with the melody for this. I even came up with the lyrics, and then I worked together with Dwayne Shui Wayans, who is a producer who really not only helped me with the music for this because he composes music, but he also helped me develop as a writer. He took me under his wing, and I really appreciate that. I really had fun working on this song with him, and I really just appreciate him. So I just hope that you enjoy it. I'm sure, again, that a lot of people can relate, and that's why I write this music, is to just be open and honest about the things that I go through as a believer. So please enjoy it. Thanks, guys.